Hello everyone, and welcome back to the studio. You're tuning in to Episode 1 of Module 1 of the Blueprint for Effortless English. I'm your co-host, Ben.
And I'm Anna. Welcome back, everyone. Take a deep breath because we are officially crossing a massive threshold today. We are kicking off Module 4, which means we are diving into the final 20 episodes of this 50-episode journey.
It is a huge milestone. Over the first 3 modules, we completely rebuilt how you process the English language. We broke your translation habits in Module 1, we fixed your physical rhythm and pronunciation in Module 2, and in Module 3, we built your conversational engine. You learned how to make small talk, tell stories, and express your opinions in casual social settings.
You now have the tools to go to a pub, attend a dinner party, or chat with a neighbor and sound incredibly natural. But what happens when the weekend is over? What happens when Monday morning rolls around, you put on your professional clothes, and you walk into a corporate office?
That is exactly what we are going to conquer right now. Welcome to Module 4, which we call Real-World Architecture. We are taking the fluency you built in the casual world and upgrading it for advanced, high-stakes scenarios. And today we are starting with Episode 1, English for Professional Settings.
Before we teach you the secrets of office fluency, we have our usual quick favor to ask. If you're excited to level up your career and you've been enjoying this blueprint so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to the English Chatcast channel.
Your support is what keeps this studio running, and it tells the algorithm to push this course to other English learners who are struggling to find their voice in the workplace. Thank you so much for being part of this community.
So Ben, let's talk about the absolute shock that most language learners experience when they get their first English-speaking corporate job. They walk in feeling pretty confident because they can watch movies without subtitles, but within 10 minutes of their first team meeting, they feel like everyone is speaking a completely different language.
It is a totally different language. We call it office speak or corporate English. The biggest mistake learners make is thinking that professional English just means using bigger, more complicated dictionary words. They think they need to sound like a legal document.
Exactly. They think instead of saying, I bought a new computer, they need to say, I procured a new computational device. They lean way too heavily into their academic textbook vocabulary because they want to sound smart and respectful.
But when you do that in a modern American or British office, you don't sound smart. You sound stiff, robotic, and unapproachable. People won't want to collaborate with you because your language creates a massive wall of formality.
On the other extreme, you have learners who try to treat the office exactly like the pub. They use way too much casual slang, they're too direct, and they end up sounding unprofessional or accidentally disrespectful to their managers.
The secret to professional English is mastering a concept called code switching. Native speakers effortlessly switch their vocabulary, their tone, and their level of directness depending on whether they're talking to a friend on a Saturday or their boss on a Tuesday.
Today, we're going to teach you how to code switch. We're going to give you the 3 pillars of professional English. If you apply these pillars, you will sound polished, capable, and completely native in any office environment.
Let's start with pillar number 1, softening your directives. In a casual setting, or in many other cultures, it's completely normal to use direct commands. You might say to a friend, "Give me that pen," or "Send me the photo."
But in an English-speaking professional setting, using a direct command is considered incredibly rude, even if you are the boss. If you walk up to a coworker and say, "Send me the quarterly report right now," they're going to think you're a tyrant.
American and British business cultures heavily value the illusion of choice. We want people to feel like they are collaborating with us, not taking orders from a dictator. So we use softening phrases to turn our commands into gentle requests.
The easiest way to soften a command is to use modal verbs like could, would, and might. Instead of saying, "Send me the report," you say, "Could you send over that report when you get a chance?"
Look at how much cushioning we just added to that sentence. Could you send over that report? And then we added a timeline cushion. When you get a chance. You're still giving them a deadline, but you're pretending that their schedule is the priority.
Another brilliant softening phrase is, "Would you mind?" This is an absolute staple in the office. "Would you mind double-checking these numbers for me?" It's impossible for someone to get offended when you start a request with, "Would you mind?"
If you need to tell someone to do a completely different task, you don't say, "Stop working on that and do this." You say, "I was wondering if we could pivot and focus on this other project for a bit."
I was wondering if we could. It's so passive, but it gets the exact same result as a direct order. The work gets done, but the relationship stays positive and friendly.
You also need to soften your language when you're pointing out a mistake. This is a massive trap for non-native speakers. If your coworker makes a calculation error on a spreadsheet, you cannot just say, "You calculated this wrong."
Oh no, never say that. That's a direct attack on their competence. Instead, you remove the word "you" entirely. You focus on the object, not the person. You say, "It looks like there might be a slight discrepancy in these numbers."
A slight discrepancy. That is beautiful corporate diplomacy. You didn't say mistake, you said discrepancy. And you didn't say you made it, you just said it looks like one exists.
You can also say, "I'm a little confused by this section. Could we walk through it together?" You're taking the blame on yourself. You're pretending that you are the confused one, which allows them to save face while they correct their own error.
Softening your directives and your corrections is the fastest way to build a reputation as a great team player. Now, let's move to pillar number 2 of professional English, upgrading your verbs.
This is where we bridge the gap between casual pub talk and polished office speak. In everyday life, we use very simple, base-level verbs. We say we want to fix a problem, or start a project, or talk about an idea.
But in the professional world, we swap those simple verbs out for specific phrasal verbs and corporate idioms. You don't want to sound like a textbook, but you do need to use the industry standard language.
Let's start with a classic. Instead of saying, "Let's talk about this later," a native speaker in an office will say, "Let's circle back to this."
Let's circle back. You will hear this phrase 5 times a day in any corporate office. It means, let's pause this conversation for now and return to it at a later time. It's much smoother than saying, "I don't have time to talk right now."
Another incredibly common one is touch base. You don't say, "I want to call you tomorrow to see what's happening." You say, "Let's touch base tomorrow morning." It just means a quick, informal check-in to make sure everyone is on the same page.
What about when a project is finally ready to begin? You don't say, "Let's start." You say, "Let's get the ball rolling on this," or "Let's kick things off." These phrases inject energy and momentum into your professional speech.
If there's a problem, you don't say you want to fix it. Fix is too basic. You say you want to troubleshoot the issue, or you want to iron out the details. Troubleshooting implies a systematic, intelligent approach to finding a solution. And when you need to give someone the responsibility for a task, you don't say, "You do this." You say, "I'm going to hand this off to you." Or, "Could you take point on this project?"
Taking point is a fantastic phrase. It means you want that person to be the leader or the primary contact for that specific assignment. Anna, could you take point on the new marketing presentation? It sounds professional and empowering.
Let's review a few more. Instead of saying, "Tell me everything," you say, "Bring me up to speed." Instead of saying, "We need to delay this," you say, let's push this back to next week. Instead of saying, I have too much work, you say, my plate is completely full right now.
Upgrading your basic verbs to these professional idioms instantly signals to your coworkers that you belong in that environment. You sound experienced and fully integrated into the culture.
Which brings us perfectly to pillar number 3, avoiding the jargon trap. While it is crucial to use standard professional idioms like circle back and touch base, there is a dangerous line that you do not want to cross.
You have to be incredibly careful not to overuse corporate buzzwords. Buzzwords are empty, trendy phrases that people use when they want to sound innovative, but they usually just end up sounding ridiculous and annoying.
If you start telling your team that you need to synergize your core competencies to create a paradigm shift and leverage out-of-the-box thinking to disrupt the industry, people are going to roll their eyes at you.
It's just verbal fluff. It means absolutely nothing. Native speakers actually mock this type of language constantly. There are entire comedy shows based on making fun of corporate jargon.
You want your language to be professional, but you also want it to be clear and concise. Never use a complicated buzzword when a simple professional idiom will do the job perfectly well.
Exactly. Don't say, let's synergize our efforts. Just say, let's make sure we're aligned on this. Aligned is a great standard professional word. Synergize is a terrible buzzword.
Don't say we need to leverage our bandwidth. Just say, let's make the best use of our time. Keep it grounded. Your goal in the office is clear communication, not winning a vocabulary contest.
Let's put all 3 of these pillars into perspective with a role play. Ben and I are going to demonstrate the massive difference between casual conversational English and polished professional English.
We're going to perform 2 versions of the exact same scenario. Let's pretend I am the project manager and I need to ask Anna for an update on a design file that is running late. I also need to tell her she made a mistake on the first draft.
In the first version, Ben is going to use direct, casual English. He won't use any softening phrases or professional idioms. I want you to listen to how aggressive and inappropriate it sounds for a corporate environment.
Here we go. Hey, Anna. Give me the new design file. It's late and I need it now.
Oh, sorry, Ben. I'm still working on it. I had to fix some things.
Yeah, you made a big mistake on the logo colors in the first draft. Fix the problem and send it to me today.
Okay, I will finish it soon.
And scene. Wow, if a manager actually spoke to me like that, I would immediately start looking for a new job.
It was so harsh. Ben used direct commands. Give me the file. Fix the problem. Send it to me today. He also directly blamed me for the error by saying, you made a big mistake. There was absolutely no corporate diplomacy.
It felt terrible just saying those words. Now, let's rewind and do version 2. This time, I am going to use all the tools we just taught you. I will use softening phrases, modals, and professional idioms to handle the exact same situation.
Listen to the difference in tone. Take 2.
Hey, Anna. How's your morning going? I was just wondering if we could touch base on the new design file. Do you have an estimated time on when that might be ready?
Oh, hey Ben, good morning. I'm actually still ironing out a few details on it right now.
No problem at all. I did notice a slight discrepancy with the logo colors on the first draft, so if you wouldn't mind just double-checking those hex codes before you send the final version over, that would be great.
Oh, good catch. I'll definitely take a look at that. I should be able to hand the final version off to you by early afternoon.
That works perfectly for my schedule. Thanks for taking point on this, Anna. Let me know if your plate gets too full and you need someone to help out.
Will do. Thanks, Ben.
And scene. Night and day. That is how adults speak to each other in a functional, healthy corporate environment.
It was completely flawless. Let's break down exactly what Ben did. He didn't just walk up and demand the file. He started with a soft opener and a professional idiom. I was wondering if we could touch base.
Instead of saying, "It's late and I need it now," I softened the request. I asked, "Do you have an estimated time on when that might be ready?" It gives her the power to set the expectation.
When I told him I was still working on it, I used a professional verb. I said I'm still ironing out a few details. It sounds so much more capable than saying I had to fix some things.
Then came the tricky part. I had to point out her mistake. I completely avoided the word "you." I said, "I noticed a slight discrepancy with the logo colors." Then I used a massive softening cushion for the command. If you wouldn't mind just double-checking those, that would be great.
And because he was so polite, I didn't feel defensive at all. I said I would hand the final version off by early afternoon. I used the phrasal verb hand off instead of send.
I closed the interaction by praising her with an idiom. "Thanks for taking point on this." And I checked on her workload by asking if her plate was getting too full. The entire conversation was productive, respectful, and highly professional.
When you learn to speak like that, people will naturally respect you. They will view you as a leader, regardless of what your actual job title is. Professional English is about managing human energy just as much as it's about managing tasks.
It's all about navigating the architecture of the office, and that is exactly what this entire module is designed to do. We're going to take you through every single high-stress professional scenario you can imagine over the next 10 episodes.
Which brings us to your mission for episode 1. It's time for you to start practicing the art of corporate diplomacy.
Your homework for this week is the Professional Upgrade Challenge. We want you to take a casual, direct sentence and translate it into polished office speak.
I don't like your idea. We need to change the plan.
That is the casual, harsh version. I don't like your idea. We need to change the plan. We want you to use the softening tools and the professional vocabulary we taught you today to make that sentence acceptable for a boardroom meeting.
Come down into the comments section of this episode and type out your upgraded professional sentence. How would you tell a coworker you want to pivot away from their idea without offending them?
We will be reading through the comments and highlighting our favorite responses. We want to see how creative and diplomatic you guys can be.
You are stepping into an entirely new level of fluency today. You are building the professional edge that will absolutely transform your career trajectory. But talking to one coworker is the easy part. What happens when you have to walk into a conference room, sit down with 5 senior managers, and defend your project under intense pressure?
That is exactly what we are covering in our next episode. In episode 2, we are diving into handling high-pressure meetings.
We are going to teach you the specific phrases native speakers use to politely interrupt a loud meeting, how to firmly defend your ideas when someone challenges you, and how to summarize action items like a true executive.
It is going to be an incredible lesson on corporate confidence, and you absolutely will not want to miss it.
But for today, focus on softening your directives. Stop using direct commands. Upgrade your basic verbs to professional idioms. And please, leave the buzzwords at the door.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
If you are ready to conquer the corporate world and upgrade your professional English today, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's build this real-world architecture together. Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, learning English with us is
a piece of cake. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the English Chatcast.